we don't construct our studio projects to be live friendly as such, but we've always got the idea in mind of when we're making the track that it's going to be played live.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been alive, playing live since basically Antiform's been around.
Yeah.
It was never a question of shall we play live. It was always just a part of it. So every song that we make, every track that we make is always determined, destined to be played live. So it's always in your mind when you're making it, but we never limit ourselves to say, hey, this might be hard to do live. Let's not do it that way. We just, we don't limit ourselves.
To that as well, then you're writing, the studios are quite a separate setup from the live setup as well. They're not. There's obviously some similar components, but there's.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when we go to play a track live, we're using stuff straight out of our studio productions. We're taking the project from our studio production and taking bits out and putting it into a live set.
Yeah.
But it's. Sorry, I just lost what I was talking about. It's
But they're separate. Yeah. I mean, what I'm thinking is, I just know some people will work where they've got pretty much their live setup is permanently set up, and that's what they actually write on, versus having a studio set up and then working backwards and kind of going, right, now we need to fit that into the live side of things.
Yeah, it is for us. It's completely working backwards, taking what we've done and going, right, well, how are we going to turn it into live? But it is quite easy just to take the bits that we have used to produce with and put it back into a live scenario. And I guess the way we do things live is quite tried and proven for us, so it's not that hard for us to go, right, well, how are we going to do that live? We can pretty easily take it and put it into the live set, which is, I guess we stumbled when we came across how we're going to do guitar live and so forth, and then when we came across the Line 6 product, it sort of solved that problem for us as well. So sometimes there's the odd...
Cheers.
Sometimes there's the odd gotcha that we come across, and you just got to think creatively to get around it and think outside the box, I guess, and is what we do, and just see if we can find a solution as to how to make something work live.
I'm just, because we are filmed, but is everyone...
when you are playing live and if something does crap out, do you have a backup system in place? Do you just push the button on the CD player, as they say, or...?
It's been an interesting one, actually.
We have thought about, obviously every time we go to play, we sit there and go, well, what happens if it craps out? Because it's a strong possibility that something will crap out. And on the odd occasion, we have pre-recorded a set and put it onto mini disc, and thought, okay, if everything goes belly up and we can't recover from the set, at least we've got that. But we actually ended up doing that about 2 or 3 times and we've never actually used it. So,
there's
we actually don't.
Times when you can't do anything. There was Groove in the Park or something when the whole actual setup there went down. Or
no, that was actually a mains issue.
So
it was really
not a lot
annoying.
you can do about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything went down.
Yeah, it was, so I mean we could hear ourselves, but we're like, oh, we're still going, what's going on? Yeah.
Actually we did have some glitching, a couple of glitches. That was the first occasion when we noticed we were pushing the limits of our laptop
as well,
for live, and I think we had a couple of occasions where there was some glitching or something at Groove in the Park. We seriously started looking at our gear after that. We could make it faster or streamline it better.
So what's the other Antiform live show? What's the output? It's basically 2 channels to the main disc. That's what they do.
Yeah. We've been given quite a few hassles by joining. It's funny joining the rock guys or joining the roadie circuit and all that stuff. It's been interesting.
Looking for separate vocal feeds for the
they want a guy on a desk and everything plugged in and so we do all that in house. Brendan, we can hear ourselves. Brendan's got in-ears, and we're just actually going to an in-ear setup. I won't go into that just yet. Which allows us to hear what's going out in front of everyone. We do sound checks before, and we're quite anal with our sound checks as well. He knows, pretty strong advocate for not killing people's ears. So yeah, we go through and make sure it's at least listenable and not going to hurt anyone. So for our setup, Brendan controls a lot of the levels, and we'll do minor tweaks on the Bayringer motorised faders. Motorised faders being the key. That's when you load the project, everything changes, and it's like, oh cool, that's where everything is. It's pretty handy.
Do you find you need to change that just based on the acoustics of the room you're in, or just the setup on the night?
Everyone knows. It depends where you play. Big gigs usually got a sound tech, and most of the time they know what they're doing, and they've already pre-tuned the rig. Clubs, totally different set of kettle of fish, I should say. A lot of them are still tuned for the old vinyl way. You'll get clubs that are tuned for CD, so might be dipping. The vinyl way might be too bright. They turn up a lot of the boost a lot of the 10k range, 7. So when you get on there and you've got your sound that's coming out in a standard converters, it just sounds too bright. So you do need to get your own profile sometimes.
So you're sort of in that live set, you're sort of, I guess, pre-mastering on that output that's going out? Because I'm just guessing if you've got DJs either side of it, you've got guys who are basically playing out fully mastered tracks.
Yeah, I think so. We moved away from the compression side of things quite a bit, because we do, our instruments. The Korg's great. It's got its own little compressor in the chain. In the master chain, you can do whatever, and the same goes with in Ableton. We're compressing everything anyway to our taste. So for the master bus, it's more limiting. So you just drive the limiter and EQing as well. And that's a great thing with having it all in one box. You've got your own mixer with a really precise EQ in it. So you're not having to sit there with 32 bands of up and down sort of chalkboard thing. You can actually get right in there and pull out anything harsh.
So you trying to, for the live side of things, you trying to achieve a sound that's basically the same as what people would expect on the album, or it's
it's pretty important to us, and we had this from the outset, that because we're DJ. I'm not. Luke and Brendan are DJs, and we came from a club environment. We knew if our sound didn't sound similar or the same as listening to records or now digital CDs these days, from sort of the final limiting and polish side of things, we're just not going to, people turn around and go, oh, it was good, but it wasn't as good as the DJ or whatever. So it was really, really important for us to get that sound, and we worked pretty hard to do that. It's EQing and compression, and that's all it is. A lot of when you just plug a live instrument in and you just level it, you're not actually catering. I personally think you're not being honest to your to your listeners. So the compression of someone's voice and whatever else. So yeah, the final polish. That's a great thing in Ableton or any DAW if you're using it live, is you can just put that in the chain and get the sound that you got in the studio fairly easily.